Hello and welcome back to Favorite Things. We've got another unboxing video. This one, a lot of firsts for me in this one, so let's get right to it. I'm gonna use my Fieldmaster 91 millimeter to open this up. And let's try to use the all. Well, not even necessary. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, like I said, a lot of firsts for me on this one. Let me walk you through it. This is a Fieldmaster small, so otherwise known as the Artisan. It is the same knife as this one, but in a miniature size. You can see by the stack here. And I'll show you what are some of the firsts for me here. First of all, just an overall look here. Let me zoom up. And looks like it's in very good condition considering the age. All right, let's take a look at the scale tools first. So we've got the toothpick, which is in not terrible shape. You know, I'm wondering if these older ones were a little bit stiffer than the new ones. Seeming to be the same, yeah. And now the first for me is the older style. I believe this is, I'll correct the video if I'm wrong, 1971 metal or aluminum tipped tweezer instead of the newer plastic tipped one. Are they interchangeable? Yes, they are. Absolutely. Okay, good to know. So that's the scale tools. And then let's take a look at the opening layer. So we've got the bottle opener and well, cap lifter, flat screwdriver, and the wire stripper. And this is also a wire stripper here. This is the first time I've had one of these older ones. Yeah, so we've got the sharpened version of the cap lifter, which is pretty cool. So besides the size, obviously the 84 millimeter version is going to be a little bit smaller, but yeah, it's got this cutout, a little sharpened there. That's pretty cool. And of course, we don't have the 90-degree stop. On the other side, we've got the patent stamp on the can opener. And otherwise it's pretty much the same other than the difference in size. Okay. So that's the traditional opening layer. Let's go to the other side and take a look at the blade layer. So we've got a standard main blade with the 4-line tank stamp. The V in Victorinox is the same size as the rest of the words. And here we have the word Victoria instead of Victorinox. So this is a little bit older. I'll put on the screen the age of this tank stamp. I believe it's pre-80, sometime in the 70s, but I'll put it on the screen just to confirm. And then this is, so that's a first for me, having a Victoria instead of a Victorinox. All right. And then this is another first for me, the clip point blade, which, yeah, that's almost like a buoy blade shape. That's beautiful. And it's sharp, as if it was never used. So that's pretty cool, instead of the more traditional spear point blade. Yeah, that's very nice. That is very nice. Beautiful. Okay. The next is the 84 millimeter scissors, which are prized by collectors and myself because they're no longer produced. And so they have a very similar feel and function as the more common 91 millimeter scissors. They have a slightly smaller spring. This one having the dual bend spring makes me think it might be a replacement, but maybe not. I have to check that. I think this area might have a single spring, single bend spring, but or a single leaf spring, I think it's what it's called. But either way, they function very similarly. Of course, we have the slotted screw instead of the rivet. That's age appropriate. Okay, so that's nice. These all close nicely, but maybe just a little sticky, so this could probably use a little bit of soapy water and then a little bit of lubrication. All right, so next is one of my favorite tools to open because it doesn't have a nail nick, but you can just feel it right here. You know that there's a wood saw, or the other one that opens with that kind of thumb grab is the pliers. But this is the first time, no, can't say this is my first 84 millimeter wood saw because I have a Walker, AKA lumberjack. But I believe this is a 29 tooth saw versus the 30 tooth saw. I think there's one fewer number of teeth, but basically same profile. And yeah. Excellent. Also in very good shape, very good condition. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, that's got a nice snappy close. And that's it for the front side tools. Next is the backside tools, and here's another first for me, the squared Phillips. So usually I'm used to these, the rounded Phillips, but the squared Phillips is pretty cool. Slightly different size if I've read up on it enough. Yeah, I think this one's a slightly smaller one. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't used one of these T Phillips, say what you will about the corkscrew, but man, these feel solid. I know people like to criticize the T Phillips, and they say, oh, you know, it's so much better to have a inline Phillips like on the Explorer or the Yeoman or the Scientist. But I'll tell you what, try using this for something really solid that you have to screw in or out. It feels very, very capable. And yeah. So anyway, and this one has the backside nail file. So that's a first for me too, because there is a version of the square Phillips that does not have the nail file. I don't remember if it's older or newer. There's also a version that has a can key. This one does not have the can key. I believe the can key came later, and maybe the file came before the can key, but I'll have to check. And finally, you know, this is, you know, earlier in the tool evolution, there weren't many backside tools, but we do get the owl. right there without the sewing eye. Yeah. So that is the Artisan, a 4-layer, 84 millimeter Victorinox Swiss Army knife. And yeah, so I feel very fortunate that this is in such good shape. And let's compare it. Okay, there we go, without getting cut. So the difference here is that we've got the multi-purpose hook, which was introduced in 1991. So of course the Fieldmaster Small, aka Artisan, does not have that. Also, one other difference is the emblem. This is the nickel silver version, a little bit more gold colored versus the steel version. So a little thicker script as well. The font there, or the lines are a little thicker. But yeah, it's got a slightly more warmer color than the newer version. One other difference is the order of the tools. So on the Artisan or Fieldmaster Small, the scissor has been reversed with the saw. So we've got the blade layer, then the scissor, then the wood saw, then the opening layer, versus on the Fieldmaster Large or 91 millimeter Fieldmaster, we have the blade layer, then the wood saw, then the scissor, and then the opening layer. And finally, the Fieldmaster is still available for purchase, but the Artisan is long discontinued, as are any of the 84 millimeter pocket knives with a scissor. One last difference. Did you notice? Key ring. No key ring on this Artisan. And there they are, side by side. So, Artisan versus Fieldmaster. Very similar to the Huntsman and Huntsman Small, respectively, just backside Phillips instead of the corkscrew. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Bye-bye.